Hi, everyone. It is Ashley here. I am Tiltify's community manager. I do all the fun community stuff like interviews, and I get to chat with Erik today. Erik, how are you? So happy to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me today.
No, thank you for letting me have you today. And I know you're very, very busy, so I'm glad we make the time to chat. And you just
Yeah.
started using the Tiltify platform, and you've been doing awesome fundraisers this year. So I can't wait until we get into the discussion about that. But I want you to tell our community a little bit about you and your content creation journey from the start to now.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is SickEmErik or Erik. My pronouns are he, they. And I am a queer variety streamer here on Twitch. I started I actually looked online the other day because I was like, when did I start? And I started back in summer of 2018. And I've been streaming off and on for the past few years now. But I think it would be more of like October or November when I actually got back into it and put a lot more of my energy and channeled a lot more stuff into it. And so I, yeah, I think it's kind of had its ups and downs, going from starting off as a small streamer and then starting to connect with a lot of people. It's been a really, really fun journey so far. And I am just super excited to continue to do what I love to do. But thank you again for having me today.
Of course. And it's great to see, I just love seeing, streamers growing, and I've definitely seen some of your growth the last couple months. So I'm happy I get to see that. And your community is so loving and so warm. Great people that you cultivated. So you should be proud of that.
Thank you, thank you. We try our best. They are very sweet, wholesome people. I love them. I love them a lot. So, but thank you for that. That's very kind of you.
Yeah, and the first time that I viewed your stream, you were doing your fundraiser for Unify for Pride, and you were playing Resident Evil Village. How is that? How is Resident Evil?
Yeah, so you popped in at a really fun moment in the game. I think I was like maybe halfway in, but growing up, I never really played a lot of scary games, and I
Mm,
had seen a lot of people play Resident Evil Village, and it kind of had this whimsical fantasy vibe to it, and I was like, okay, maybe we'll play it. I saw a lot of Lady D, I saw a lot of memes of Lady D, and I was like, I'd love to play this game, and I honestly had a really really fun time with it. In the beginning, it was really scary because I didn't know how scary this game was going to be, but I got more courageous as I played more. And when you popped in, it was actually a really stressful moment. I think I was fighting one of
yeah.
the bosses, and I was like, "Oh,
Mhm.
hi," trying to talk to you. But yeah, it was really good. It was a fun time.
Yes, it was fun watching you because I am not very, good at horror games, but I still play them anyway because they're fun. And I'm like, "Yes, I get to see someone else suffer a little bit from the same
Right,
thing I'm going through." Yes, but it's
right,
so
because it's
fun, so fun.
good content for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. And, since I did, appear in your stream when you're doing your Unify for Pride fundraiser, tell me a little bit why you selected the particular charity you fundraise for, and why did you fundraise for Unify for Pride?
Yeah, so I that's a great question. So I previous to Pride, I had actually never done charity work for Pride before. And
Mhm.
leading up to Pride, I had a really good friend of mine. They reached out to me to say, hey, I'd love for you to join our group that is raising money for during Pride. And so we actually were raising money for the Transgender Law Center, and it was a lot of really great resources that they provided for us. And after talking with them, I really wanted to because it was my first Pride that I was raising money for, but I think it was also a really important organization that needed that love and support. And so after that, our group collectively worked together and had a really, really good time and made some good impacts on the community and stuff.
Yeah, that was beautiful, and that's awesome that your friend brought you on to our platform to do some good during Pride Month. That's awesome. And I wanted to ask you, why is fundraising for charity so important to you, especially with this being your first one?
Yeah. So my charity journey has been it's been really interesting because I started off. I'm still a fairly small content creator, and I think when I actually started charity back in January, and I was really really nervous about just starting to get into charity because as a small creator. I was still establishing my community at that point, and I wasn't really sure how it was going to go. But when I first started doing charity, I was a part of a Twitch team that was gathering together to help uplift the gaming community. And they had kind of tasked us with saying, hey, Eric, try to find a local community that you want to raise money for. And because I never done it before, I kind of struggled initially, and I had reached out to my supervisor. I currently live in Honolulu, Hawaii, and so I was really asking her what would be a good organization to help our local community out a lot, because there's a lot of Hawaiian values that we try to instill in our department as well in our workforce. And so the core value that we have of Malama, which is to care for, I really was trying to help provide for the community that I have the privilege of living in. I do acknowledge that I'm a settler here in Hawaii, and there's a lot of historical context that people that coming to Hawaii have done unto the people of Hawaii, and so I really wanted to make sure that I did good with my time here. And so when I asked her, I was like, what would be a good place? She immediately thought of Waikiki Health's Youth Outreach Center. It really helps focus on youth homeless, and it's really sad as I learned more about the organization. Homelessness is really, really it's big across the country, but in Hawaii specifically, there's a lot of homeless youth, and just learning about the organization, the resources they give to these young adults, the place that they give them, and the support they give them, was just so important to help out. And so we started there, um, and then we kind of just went from there. And so I think to starting off, it was I apologize if I'm kind of going off topic and stuff, but we basically started off with a really small goal because we're still growing and we weren't sure how I would do raising money wise. And I think we started with like $100 to $150 as our initial donation goal, and I started it in January because that's my birthday month, and so I really wanted for my
Mhm.
birthday to do something big. And by the end of January, we ended up raising like over $1,000, and so I was super excited the fact that we made such an impact in our community, and that is kind of where my love for charity work started from. And from there, we've done a few other charities through Tiltify. I do acknowledge the first one that we did for Waikiki Health, actually wasn't on Tiltify because I was scrambling really quickly to try to figure out something for January. And but after January, we started using Tiltify for some other ones, and it was just so seamless and easy of a process to transition to Tiltify, and it made it a big difference. And something that I'm really excited for and happy about is that my friend connected with me later on after I did my January fundraiser for Waikiki Health, and he actually helped bring them to Tiltify, help them create a
Yeah.
profile. His name is Island Style. I love him dearly. He did Kiki. I think he did Island. I think what was it called? It was oh my gosh, it was basically an Apex charity event that he did with Tiltify
Yeah.
for Waikiki Health, and I think they raised over like $20,000 for his event. And it was just seeing like um, the anxiety I might have had to start off a charity fundraiser has then blossomed into something big, where my friends are doing a really really big things for it, and so I was super happy to see the impact that he made for them too. So, but yeah,
Island Style is good people. We adore
love them.
him as well. Yes, they are great. So that is amazing that he took the initiative to bring you on and welcome you to the platform and do some good together. That is so sweet. I love that. And I love seeing content creators just get together for one mission only, and that's to support others that are in need. So that is beautiful. And thank you so much for sharing that, Eric. We
Yeah,
appreciate it. And we're
thank
so
you.
happy to have you on a Tiltify platform. And I know you had mentioned that it was seamless to move over to Tiltify. I wanted to ask you a little bit more about, your experience using Tiltify. What are some of your favorite things using our platform for these causes on your stream?
Yeah, so I would say that something that was really made it really helpful transitioning into Tiltify was the fact that y'all have now added overlays to like donation alerts, and the fact that people can continue to see who all's donated, especially that stream. I remember for Pride Month, it was helpful to see like all the people donating, and I think that helped encourage viewers that were popping in or that may have found us
Mhm.
through your website. to be like, oh, like, let's help support this group. Maybe they're getting close to their goal, and let's really help push them and get them to that threshold. And so I know that when I was donating for the Trans Law Center as well as like Charity Water, we actually had people through your system come and say, hey, I found you through this organization, and I really wanted to help
Mm.
you out. And so I think that helped make it so much easier, especially as smaller content creators may be nervous about if people are going to support them. And so it was really nice to see how easy things kind of came together and stuff like that. So
That's awesome, and we did just release our overlays this year, so it makes me so happy that people love them, and you have everything all in one platform to get you ready to start a fundraising stream, you know?
yeah,
Overlays include all the alerts and all the different, goals you have, milestones, all that fun stuff. You can include that in an overlay, and you just add it to your streaming browse or your streaming software, and you're good to go. So,
right.
we
I think
love
that's
we love hearing that it's easy.
Yeah, and I think that for like Pride made it so much easier too, because as viewers would go to the website, they could see the milestones. And so, like for this
Yeah.
Pride, we had a couple milestones. I think our first one for $100 was like a spicy ramen challenge. And so, if people
Ooh.
knew that they reached that, they would know that I'd have to suffer and eat spicy
Mhm.
ramen. And then I think 200 was like we played Devour. Have you ever played Devour before?
I have not played that, but I've heard it's very scary.
It's terrifying. But so they know that I don't like playing scary games, and they knew that if they reach that milestone, and I think it just helps seeing that visibly there. They knew what the outcome would be if they reached that, and so it
Yeah.
helps out streamers a lot. Um, but yeah, and then it also helped us for Pride. We actually reached our a charity fundraiser of 350 like super quickly. I was
Mhm.
only able to stream for a couple of weeks because my family was visiting in June. But
Mhm.
them seeing that final milestone of me dyeing my hair, I think it really encouraged people to want to donate more money. And so it was really nice seeing that. We actually extended it and raised it to 500. And then I think the last day after or before my family came, we actually hit $500 too. So it's really nice to see how quick it updates. There was one more
Yes.
thing I wanted to say that I really appreciate.
Yeah.
So when I was doing the Waikiki Health outside of Tiltify, I know that I kind of was struggling with finding an easy, seamless process for people to donate because you have to like kind of filter it through yourself to then the organization. And so something that I really appreciate about Tiltify is that how easy it is, and it basically immediately goes right to the organization. And so
Yes,
um,
it
it's
does.
so seamless, like it's so
Mhm.
easy.
It goes directly to their account. It
Yeah,
does not
yeah,
go through us at all. We just process it, and every single penny goes to them.
right,
Um, it's great, and I love that. And I know a lot of people they come to us with that question when they've never used us before. They say, "Hey, is the money going directly to the cause, or are you holding it in a pool? Then you send it over?" No, every single
right,
donation goes to that cause. So that's what I love the most
um,
about Totify, and it doesn't take fees, from
right,
the donor or anything like that. So, yeah, I love it, and there's
right.
always so many different payment methods that we have too available just to keep a variety of options so you can do some good.
Right, and I think that helps people that are watching or that wanna donate, feel more inclined to, because I think as
Mhm.
easy as you can make the process for people, the more likely they're gonna donate, so I think it's really good that how easy it is for people to make that monetary, donation. It makes it a lot easier
Yeah.
too for us content creators and stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. I love it. And I'm glad you are enjoying our platform. And I wanted to ask you, we can always improve and we're always working on something new every single day.
Mhm.
Were there any features that you think that you would want added to our platform?
That's a really good question. Um I can't think of anything right now. I do appreciate too how easy it is for y'all to help content creators find organizations to donate for.
Mhm.
I was trying to look at things, and that was one of the things that I realized that you have this opportunity, kind of this discoverability thing for content creators to find things. So other than that, I feel like for the most part y'all do a really good job, and I think that
Yay.
you work with so many streamers, and and you hear the things that we need, and y'all are pretty quick to do these updates. Like I know the overlays were a recent change you just talked about, and I think like that was such a quick and helpful thing that y'all added. And so I really appreciate that. And I know a lot of us do too.
Yes, of course. And that means we're doing a good job right now. But just keep your eyes peeled. We're always working on something new. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you're enjoying our platform, and we're just so happy that you are doing good with your platform and you're building your community and supporting these organizations that you care deeply about. So thank you, Eric. Thank you,
Thank
thank you,
you so
thank
much.
you. Of course. And I just wanted to ask you another question. What do you think would attribute most to your success in fundraising for
Mm.
any of the causes that you fundraise for?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think, even though I've only recently started to do charity streams, as of this January, I think something that has kind of contributed to me being successful in charity streams is, uh, as you do each one, you kind of figure out what incentives work for your community, and
Hmm.
uh, and so I think that's helped me realize what works and what doesn't work. For me, one of the incentives that our community really loves is, once you reach a certain threshold or a donation, you actually get a care package from me, and so I work to send you some, Hawaiian snacks and candies, and so I
Oh
found
my
that that
goodness.
has yeah, and so I think some people, I have a lot of friends message me. They're like, "Dude, I'm helping the organization, but I really just want the candy." And I'm like, absolutely, but thank you for helping me do some good, while we send you some treats and stuff. So, I think that that has helped me, kinda see what people are interested in, because people
Mhm.
don't really experience a lot of those snacks or candies unless they come here for vacation, and so trying to
Exactly.
bring that little piece to them, helps people wanna donate. But, I think also something that I learned really quickly is, to learn how to space out your charity fundraisers too. I know
Mm.
that I tried after our January one, we tried doing a thing for heart support in February, and it's a beautiful, amazing organization that needs this love and support to help people. Um, but I realized that I probably tapped out a lot of my people of their financial resources, and so I think finding ways to help your friends and your colleagues and your viewers feel like they want to donate to an organization would be really helpful. But I think understanding also that sometimes people can only donate at certain times, but,
Mhm.
um, yeah, and I think something that's really helped too is, try to be as prepared with the information of the organization you're raising money for, because it really helps. I know with Charity Water, we'd had Charity Water, we would raise money for them, they would come in our chat a lot, and they'd help, inform viewers of, each donation you give helps us provide water for clean water for a certain number of people, and so I think
Yeah.
that sometimes helps too, having that understanding of the context of how much a dollar will help a person out, and I think that that really helps a lot. So, I'd definitely say to make sure you research the organizations you work with before you do fundraisers, so that you can speak more to it, because I think people can tell when your heart's in the right place or not.
Exactly. I love that. And I I could totally agree with tapping out your community for sure. um yeah, you got to sometimes you have to space out your fundraising efforts for sure. Prepare your community. You're like, "Okay, hey, we're doing this
Right.
next fundraiser 2 months from now. Get ready." All right?
Right, right. Like, I know with
Like
January, I was like, "Hey, we're just doing this now," but I think, like, with Pride, I was like, "Hey, leading up to it, if you wanna start saving."
exactly.
And so I think,
Mhm.
yeah, that definitely helped us be really successful the first few weeks in June and stuff, so
But, I really admire how you have learned so much already in just a few fundraisers you have done. That's awesome.
thank you.
I love that you are very passionate about these organizations too. And you can definitely see that in your streams and when you're talking about, if you want to donate, this is what this
Please.
donation is doing,
Right, right.
and you're so nice about it and so kind and loving. And I love that you also say, hey, you just being here in a stream is donating towards this cause and bringing awareness too. So
Right.
I
Well,
love
and
that
that and
about
that's
you.
so thank you. That's so you're so sweet. I adore you so much, and just, like, hearing you say that, it means a lot, but I think, that's something that and also doing a lot of charity work, you learn pretty quickly is even if people can't donate, I think the most important thing is just being present, or sharing things
Hmm.
about your charity event, because
Yeah.
while you might not have the money to do it, you might have somebody that is a friend of yours that is like, "Oh, I love this organization. I would love to
Hmm.
donate." And so that would be my biggest, please help us, please help shout out and
Hmm.
like blast out our things when we do charity work, because it does help us, even if you're not able
Exactly.
to donate. Yeah,
Hmm.
and I think something else that I've learned a lot too is, even if you're raising money and you only have $1, I think you have to remember that And if you can only donate a dollar, that dollar is one more dollar than that organization already had or did not have. And so I think that $1, I see your finger, that $1 can make that difference. And so I think it's really important to make sure you remember that too. But
Yes, I stress that with any and everything I do.
right,
Um, this can really yeah, that fits anything. If you're giving to a homeless person, they're not gonna say, "Only a dollar?" No, that
right,
dollar can get them a meal at McDonald's.
right.
They're gonna be very grateful for that, and, if 50 people gave them a dollar, boom, $50.
Exactly.
Okay, that dollar makes a difference. I say this in my fundraisers all the time. I'm like, "Hey, if you have a dollar that you can give, if 50 people that are here in this chat that can give a dollar and that's all you can
Hmm.
do, cool. That's $50, okay?" And,
Right.
for St. Jude, that would cover a meal for a family for the
Mm,
day, you know? Just by
right.
50 people donating a dollar. So it's impactful. And I want everybody that's listening to stress dollar donations. Stress it,
Right.
stress it, stress it. And don't
Please,
make
please
people
do.
feel bad for a dollar. And,
Right.
I also throw it out there if people really do feel bad about it, you can donate anonymously. I like to
Hmm.
say that too, because some people really just do feel bad. I'm like, you shouldn't, but if you really want to hide that. You can donate anonymously, and that's totally fine. I don't see it, nobody sees it. It's
Right.
okay, but
Right.
I'm still gonna thank that anonymous person for giving that dollar because it's still impactful and it makes a difference. So,
Right. I
see,
think
you
it's
have learned so much, Eric. This is
thank
great.
you.
I love it.
I'm soaking it all in. I'm soaking it all in. I wanna learn. I wanna learn.
You're doing great. You're always gonna learn something new every single fundraiser.
Absolutely.
I've personally been fundraising since 2017, so I learned something new every fundraiser, I
Oh,
promise.
wow. Yeah.
So, we have our last question, and I know you just started this year, but I'm sure you have some advice for somebody
Mhm.
that wants to start their first fundraiser.
Yeah. So kind of like we talked about earlier, but I would definitely say to research an organization you are passionate about. Because I think when you're talking about an organization, the viewers that are watching, you can kind of tell how much your heart is in this place in the right place for this. And I think that is super important to know and understand the organization you're raising money for. I would also say to reach out to other people that maybe you watch that have done charity streams to see if they have any tips or tricks. I would say if there are incentives that they do, I learned a lot from my friends that I've met over the past few months of trying to pick their brains of what works for their community and what doesn't. But I think it's important to know that while it works for one person, it might not work for you, and that's totally okay. But I think doing your research for incentives in the organization would be super helpful. And again, stressing that $1 I think would be super, super helpful as you do your first charity stream. It's scary the first time, but I think as you continue to do it, you're going to get better and better at it. And just make sure you talk to people. If you can refer somebody to say, "Hey, I'm going live raising money for this organization that means a lot to me. I'd love for you to hang by." That power of reaching out to somebody and talking to them can make the difference. And so it can be scary at first, but please make sure you do it because you're going to be putting a lot of good out there into the world.
Perfect. Eric, thank you so much for your time today. And that
Thank you.
advice
Thank
is
you.
absolutely phenomenal for someone that wants to get into fundraising. So thank you. Thank you. And I'm so excited to see all the fundraisers you do in the future and seeing the growth of your community. And we're so happy to have you a part of the Tiltify community. So
Thank
we're
you.
going to close out with our community knowing where we can find you on socials. If you can give
Of
us a
course. Of
rundown.
course. Yeah. So I have Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, all the cool fun stuff. If you want to hang out with me on social media, please follow me on at SickEmErik on any social media platform. You can feel free to hang out with us and figure out when we go live or what we're just hanging out and talking about. We love to talk about anime stuff. So you like anime? Please talk to me about
Ooh.
anime. Find your people. Find your people.
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much again, Eric. I hope you have a good one. And thank you everyone
Thank
for
you.
watching. Bye.
Bye.